What's better than 4 different 8-minute set reviews? An 8-minute review with 4 sets in it. You're welcome. In this video I'm taking a look at the new Star Wars dioramas, the Executor and the Snub Fighter Star Wars LEGO sets. For starters, these 3 are better adult sets than the UCS style ships, and before explaining this unpopular opinion of mine, let's look at them first. Endor Speeder Chase recreates the famous speeder bike chase of the Star Wars Return of the Jedi, where Luke and Leia chase down scout troopers through the forests of Endor, you know, the planet of the teddy bears. The style is always the same, black base with a printed LEGO theme tile and a movie quote. Star Wars dioramas in specific also come with these metallic silver grille elements that the other themed dioramas don't have, and both of these new ones have a printed brick that celebrates the 40th anniversary of the Return of the Jedi movie. I do think that this special brick takes something away from the display value of this set, so I kinda like them more without it, and I feel the same about the Executor. There's a ton of foliage in here at the base, including lots of the new fern element that was first introduced in the Rivendell set. The trunk of the trees were made with an interesting studs not on top technique kind of build that managed to make them look fairly rounded, and the foliage up here is bare and was a bit repetitive to build. Then there's the speeder bikes and minifigures. The Scout Trooper looks fairly accurate and has a very impressive helmet element, dual molded with a lot of printed detailing. Luke and Leia at the surface also look really good, though it's hard to convey the feeling of the ponchos they were wearing in this movie scene just with prints. That shows with Luke, for instance, that should have his iconic black clothing underneath, but that isn't reflected at all here. The helmets do look good though, and they both have alternate expressions as opposed to the Scout Trooper that only has this one. The speeder bikes do look really good, and I quite like the use of the butcher knife recolored in black in the back. The two are slightly different from each other though to fit their respective riders, just the Scout Trooper on one and both Leia and Luke on the other. The bikes are displayed on this stand with the use of transparent bars to make them look like they're floating, as they should, and the end result looks really good in my opinion. The Emperor's throne room has a similar base in every possible way. The back, however, has exposed Technic bricks that were necessary to hold the superstructure of the back wall and window build tightly secured. It was very interesting to see how this weird LEGO shape came together with the use of hose elements to which individual window sections were clipped onto. The big window is a highly detailed printed 10x10 rounded dish that's just held in place with a couple clips down here and a weird assembly with a pneumatic T element up here, to a great effect when seen from the front at least. Emperor Palpatine's throne was also a great build with some awkward angles, and that can obviously spin in place to recreate the iconic turning scene. This whole back wall was also an interesting build made with inch plates and wedges, and it kinda sinks into the floor build to a great effect. The duty posts should be hollow, as an officer is supposed to fit in the middle to access controls on the monitors, but not a big issue for me. There's some railings, the stairs and some jumpers on the floor onto which the 3 minifigures included can be attached to. Not 5, as some people would probably have enjoyed the inclusion of at least 2 royal guards. Darth Vader isn't exclusive to this set, but a nice figure to have nonetheless. Arm printing, and this is what the head underneath the helmet looks like. Then there's an exclusive Luke minifigure with a new hairpiece that closely matches his hairstyle in the movie scenes in question. Mismatched hands, very much like the Luke minifigure from the previous diorama, and I still can't get over the updated lightsaber blades that aren't as transparent as before. Finally, Emperor Palpatine, also exclusive to this set with this hood element I've never seen before, and a secondary expression for when he's using Force Lightning perhaps. The Force Lightning elements can actually be stored under here, which isn't that easy to access, but good to have so you don't lose the pieces if you're not using them. The Executor Superstar Destroyer, while not being a diorama style set, brings back a MIDI scale set to Star Wars, which I really like. There isn't a lot that needs to be said about the model, really. The build is a lot of plates on top of plates kind of build, similar to the Snub Fighter, and it was surprisingly colorful on the inside. The amount of gribbly details is just right, and the way the fuselage panels built with lots of wedge plates angle perfectly on top of the ship was very satisfying to put together. The engines can be seen on the back and bottom, and the Microstar destroyers are cute and help to get the sense of scale of this ship. The stand is as simple as it gets. The printed plaque feels like a weird element choice given the lack of anything on the bottom half of the 4x4 plate. And you also get the special anniversary brick that you're meant to place here by removing one of the grills, though I like it better without it. Let's talk prices now. The Underspeeder Bike Chase is $80 for 600 pieces, Throne Room $100 for 800 pieces, and the Executor $70 for a little over 600 pieces. They all represent what is expected of them. No stickers, overall great minifigures except for maybe this version of Luke, and while not being super cheap and not having great price per piece ratios, they're still better deals than the ridiculous Justifier from last year that costs $170 and only has little over 1000 pieces. That's my baseline for calling something Star Wars expensive. These three sets are not, and are somewhat in line of recent pricing within the theme. These sets kinda remind me of LEGO architecture sets that were trying to cater to a different type of audience by being relatively small display pieces with a seemingly higher quality that LEGO was happy to charge a little extra for and people were happy to pay. Something anyone could proudly display at home or at the office to remember the love they had for a city, monument, or in this case Star Wars, without being a logistics nightmare that the huge $500 plus LEGO Star Wars UCS sets are. Even if you have the money to pay for those, if you don't have the space or the audacity to display them, you simply won't buy them. And that's why the $100 or less 18 plus LEGO Star Wars sets are in my opinion better Star Wars LEGO products than the big dust collector monoliths. A lot more people will buy into them, especially as an entry point for newcomers to the hobby, or a gift people would offer someone they know to be a Star Wars fan. These are sets primarily aimed at Star Wars fans, not established LEGO Star Wars fans that will wait for a discount anyways, and that makes a world of difference in the grand scheme of things. LEGO knows this, and that's why they're expanding this type of products to other themes, to reach new audiences. Good job there. The Snub Fighter, however, as opposed to the previous three sets, isn't, in my opinion, worth the $35 price tag. Sure, there's some decent minifigures like Vane and the Snub Fighter pilot, but the build itself is just plates and small pieces for details. There's some cargo back here and a hidden spot in the cockpit to keep a blaster. Two stud shooters, blaster guns at the front and engines at the back. That's it. This would have been a better set if it had an N1 ship and the Mandalorian, a dual ship type LEGO set Star Wars does every now and then. What I do like about it as a LEGO fan is the new transparent color that the cockpit element has, rumored to be replacing transparent dark colored elements going forward. Time will tell if this is true or not. Now look at these. Bags were ripped open and pieces were loose inside the box thanks to the amazing shipping service provider. Not. I was hoping to do a review on this Ultimate Collector Series X-Wing soon, but let's see how that turns out. Hopefully no pieces are missing. Subscribe so you don't miss it.